So the theme that Akin asked me to cover is the power of multicultural marketing in diverse societies. And of course, the topic is dear to my heart. I made a living and I would say a very good living focusing on specifically the Hispanic market. And I want to share a little bit of my journey with you, and then give you some food for thought, especially because this topic has been a hot topic as it relates to what's happening in the world and what's happening here in the US. Let me start with a quick introduction, other than the kind introduction that Akin already presented. First and foremost, I think we're in the business of optimism. If you think about it, we get paid to find the bright side of brands, products, services. And I'm an eternal optimist myself. And that's why I enjoy working on this industry, because we have to look at the bright side and be able to convey that feeling of optimism, not only for our clients, for our teams, but more importantly to our audiences. I've been very fortunate. I've been writing for a living and living to write since the tender age of 17. I'm very proud to call myself a passionate ad man. I know that there's some people out there that have said that the advertising industry is dead. I'm always telling, especially my students, that I never saw a better time to be in this industry than it is now. The boundaries and the possibilities have expanded, and we're not only developing campaigns, we're creating platforms, we're creating new ways of connecting, brand extensions, you name it. I think it's an exciting time. And as I was saying, I'm a passionate ad man. I see myself as a culture and brand builder. At the end of the day, that's what we do for a living. I'm a photography aficionado. In fact, some of these backgrounds are my photographic work. And last but certainly not least, I'm a huge dog lover. In fact, at my previous agency, I was nicknamed the dog father, because I have placed 55 rescue dogs with families, and those families are very happy and very fortunate to have those dogs as part of their lives. Let me start by telling you what's my why. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Simon Sinek. If you haven't, to me, one of the best consultants of our time. And he talks about the importance of finding your why. And almost intuitively, I found my why when I first started working in the Hispanic market, when I realized that Hollywood in particular had created a perception of Latinos in the US that was quite limited. So my mission has been to help elevate, help dignify the presence of Latinos in the US. And I've tried to do this in the workplace, in the classroom, and especially across all the different screens. Whenever I look at work from my teams, that is what's in the back of my mind. Are we doing something to portray Latinos in the right way? Are we helping elevate the image? And I've been very, very lucky, because a lot of great talent have bought into that mission. And this higher purpose has, kept me not only very excited, it's what propels me out of bed every morning. It's what sometimes keeps me awake in the middle of the night. But it's a mission that great people have helped me take to new heights. And I want to share with you 3 examples of work from my previous agency, Alma, because what I've tried has been to champion great creative work that fulfills this mission of elevating and dignifying the Latino presence. So here are 3 examples. The first one for McDonald's.
Hey, good morning, man. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. I'm David.
Gabriel.
There we go. Okay, it's your first customer. Welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order?
Is Gabriel there?
It's for you.
Gabriel? Gabriel, ¿eres tú?
Welcome to McDonald's.
Hijo, it's us!
Tell him who us
He
is.
knows who us. No, he doesn't. We could be anybody. Who else is gonna drive up and say,
I'm so sorry.
Mijo, it's us! It's us, mijo!
Yeah, I still think it's fake.
Hey, what can I get you guys to eat?
Gabriel, can you make me a Big Mac? Oh, and papitas. Don't forget the papitas.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, I'll see you at the next window.
Ahora sí.
Thank you.
How we doing,
Bye.
man?
Bye, sir.
It's okay. Mantic video.
The brief for this particular spot was originally an employment, a recruitment brief. But working with the creative team headed up by Jorge Murillo and Montserrat Valera, we realized that we could tell a story that was not only relevant for Latino young crew members, but the pride of their parents would really elevate the possibilities of starting your work life at McDonald's, and also elevate the brand. And this commercial was very important in the journey we had with McDonald's. The next one was also an interesting brief, also related to finding the right talent.
What are Latino jobs?
The stereotype here, of course, is that you build fences.
I don't know. What's anybody's job?
You know, janitorial, or the carts, or the corn.
I'm in the construction business, so a lot of
Construction,
Construction.
roofers, lawn.
Jobs that don't require a high level of education.
Unfortunately, I think construction, which is really sad, actually. But that's the first thing that comes to mind.
I'm a thermal engineer.
I'm a software consultant.
I'm a bilingual media professional.
There's no such thing as a Latino job.
I think a Latino job is anything a Latino wants.
Anybody can do whatever they want.
I was a politics major.
I have a degree in neuroscience.
Cum laude bachelor's degree in international business.
It's in our blood to work hard and to put so much passion into our work.
I am bilingual.
I do magic with computers.
I don't want to be the one who just fixes things, but creates them.
A Latino job is whatever that Latino wants to be.
It's as simple as that.
Help us reinvent what a Latino job means by being part of the change. HP is hiring, and talent is our only criteria.
I had a great client behind this effort. His name is Antonio Lucio, and he's globally recognized as one of the biggest champions of diversity, equity, and inclusion. In fact, he went from HP to Facebook or Meta, and he just came back to HP as global CMO. This campaign was also developed at Alma. Alvar Suñol and Bea Torres were the creative team, but it was very effective in not only raising the image of Latinos, but recruiting. It was quite effective. And last but certainly not least, I only have 3 examples. Coors Light was a sponsor of the NFL here in the US. And when we first got the brief, they asked us, what can we do to appeal to Latinos? And as we started working on this, again, with Jorge Murillo and Gabe Ferrer and Gabe Reyes, we realized that there was an amazing icon, a Latino icon, whose nickname was the Iceman, and the overall platform for Coors Light is chill. So there was an actual connection. But this amazing quarterback and coach had been snubbed by the Hall of Fame. And instead of developing a campaign, we decided to start a movement and try to get him inducted into the Hall of Fame. This is the case.
He wasn't denied one time. He was denied since 1999. That's 20 effing times.
man he speaks of is, of course, Tom Flores, the Iceman, a Latino football pioneer who at 83 years old was somehow still not in the Hall of Fame.
Or maybe it's the NFL Hall of Shame because he's not in.
Some fans even accuse the NFL of standing for Not for Latinos. So Coors Light, the chillest beer, would lobby for the chillest legend in football to finally get the recognition he deserves in a campaign known as Iceman to Canton.
Meet football legend Tom Flores, aka the Iceman, aka the first Latino quarterback and head coach ever, aka four-time champ, aka why isn't he in the Hall yet? Not cool, but Tom is. Do something chill, Tom. Classic Iceman. Anyway, Coors Light is gonna do something about it.
You guys should put my picture on the can.
Way ahead of you, Coach.
I had more hair back then.
Handsome man, Grandpa.
Fans flocked to the website to sign the Iceman petition and join a movement that mobilized a new generation of football fans to fight for a trailblazer of the gridiron. The push to induct Flores ignited a social conversation filled with fire emojis. Coors Light decided to amplify the fan support by taking the tweets to the home of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and then the home of Flores himself.
Barb, I'm on the truck.
The campaign became impossible to ignore, garnering over 1 billion impressions.
By all means, he belongs in the Hall of Fame, and if Coors Light is his catalyst to Canton, hey, I will drink to that.
The movement even inspired congressmen into action.
It's with great honor that I asked that the California State Legislature recognize Tom the Iceman Flores.
And then the fateful day came.
On behalf of all of us who love this game, and I want to welcome you to Canton, Ohio, as a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I'm using that lost for words.
And while fans erupted in celebration, they also celebrated a beer campaign.
It looks like that Coors Light ad put Flores, aka the Iceman, over the top to get the votes to become an NFL Hall of Famer.
In the end, Coors Light made sure the Iceman stopped getting the cold shoulder for good.
Yeah, I'll have to get used to Hall of Famer. Whoa. Hey, get ready for my gold jacket, my ring, and the bust, and drinking the Coors Light.
For football legend Tom Flores, the big day has finally come.
Been saving this bad boy since '83. Vintage, just like me.
So 3 examples that illustrate this mission or this why of trying to help elevate the image of Latinos. I had an amazing run since founding the agency. And last year, I decided to close a chapter because my partners at DDB asked me to take on a global role as Chief Creative Officer on McDonald's. And when I thought that it was time for me to come back and really recommit to the Latino market in the U.S., I realized that having promoted 2 great people, Isaac Mizrahi and Alvar, it was weird for me to try to elbow my way back into running Alma. So I embarked on a new beginning. I launched on my own, but shortly after that, I was approached by Richard Ellman and Pete Lerma, and our conversations led to a new company called Messianu, Edelman, and Lerma. And some of, I'm not going to turn this into a credentials, but we're talking about the power of 3, three people that come together, but more importantly, 3 disciplines: earned, which is the heritage of Edelman; digital, which is the upbringing of Lerma; and of course, my creative angle. But funny enough, Mel, it's also the Latino root for the word honey. And that was a little bit of the intention behind those 3 letters. So we look at ourselves as a hive of cultura co-creation, and specifically in Spanish. And what we do is buzzworthy ideas with impact, or in other words, ideas that sting. What we do is help brands thrive and continue to lift up la cultura, which is again, the evolution of my personal mission. The vision is to elevate the communities we serve. So that's what we're really focused on. But let me address the elephant in the Zoom. Why talk about diversity? What's the big deal with diversity? As I mentioned at the beginning, there's been a lot of debates around the concept of diversity. It has been connected to affirmative action, which is a movement that started a few years ago. Big names like Mark Cuban and Elon Musk have questioned the value of affirmative action. And I'm not going to get political, but I can talk about the benefits of diversity as, of course, someone that has spent a lot of years in the multicultural marketing arena, but also as an entrepreneur that was very fortunate to be able to attract 32 nationalities at Alma. And my point is that from diverse backgrounds, there's better creative output. If you have different points of view, if you have people from different walks of life, it's better the chance that your creative output it's going to be fresher, more original, and more unexpected. At the end of the day, it's as simple as that. It's as complex and as simple as that. But how do we even define diversity, equity, and inclusion? And by the way, I love the addition of the B, which is belonging. Berna, who's credited with some of the best definitions, said diversity is being asked to the party, inclusion is being asked to dance, and belonging is dancing like no one is watching. John Powell also had a really interesting angle. Belonging is not just critical to our survival, it's essential if we are to thrive. So whether you are working in specifically multicultural aspects of business, or if you're addressing just business in general, I personally think that diversity of your team, diversity of your output is a way of connecting. To me, inclusive marketing considers diversity in all forms. It's about recognizing that your audience is made up of different groups of people. We're not talking to an homogeneous audience. You're talking to many different people. And of course, in today's environment in which you can have a one-on-one type of communication, you can decide who is your target. But as a whole, as responsible for the image and the connection of brands, I think it's very important to acknowledge that your audience is diverse. And when I say diverse, it goes beyond just the color of our skin. It has to do with age, it has to do with appearance, ethnicity, gender identity, language, socioeconomic status, religion and spirituality, physical and mental ability. I think in the past, the definition of inclusive marketing was quite narrow. And as time goes by, we understand that it has many, many multiple dimensions. We're all unique and diverse, and inclusion is for everyone. Belonging is critical to our survival individually and collectively, and enabling everyone to belong will deliver better results for people, for society, and for business. And at the end of the day, that's what we're paid for, to grow businesses, to elevate brands, and that's why I think diversity is so important. We need to know that diversity of our audience and proactively seek to reflect it on our projects, team, and agency. It's important that we create teams that pretty much mirror our audiences, and it's important not only to include all employees, but you have to listen and bring in their voices. A lot of agencies here in the US over the last few years have hired what I call the one of each. They hire one Latino, one African American, one Asian American, one member of the LGBT community, but they put them in the back of the room and they don't really listen and process their voices. Inclusivity is about giving room to those voices, processing the output of those voices, and impacting the decisions of the company. Because diversity, at the end of the day, it's reflected on your company's output. And I want to give you two very personal points of view on diversity. And I've used this metaphors in different contexts. Imagine that with all the illusion, you're on your way to an ice cream parlor and you are craving a delicious ice cream, but when you walk in, they only have one flavor, vanilla. Or imagine that you go to a home improvement center and you're excited about remodeling a room in your home, and the only color available is beige. If diversity applies to our tastes and our vision, why shouldn't it apply to marketing, which is so important? So let's move beyond just vanilla or beige, and let's celebrate all the shades and all the colors, because life will be better in general and business will thrive. But let me talk about my specific area of expertise, which is the US Hispanic opportunity. Let's put diversity into action. And I know that most of you are outside the US, but let me talk a little bit about the Hispanic or the Latino opportunity. And you can almost look at it as a separate country. Look at some of these numbers. 63.7 million people, almost 20% of the population last year. 50% of the population in the top 10%, 10 DMAs. 2.8 trillion GDP, which is ahead of India, England, Brazil, Russia, and Canada. If you look at this country almost as Hispania, if you will, this is a very attractive economy and an amazing business opportunity. Our point of view is that Latinos live at the intersection of influence and impact, and that's why culture or cultura is so important, because our audience is able to move between worlds, bringing the best of both to create a better new. The Latino growth is not just demographic, it's also about cultural influence and impact. And I want to illustrate it with some examples. The Latino culture has changed a lot in the last 15 years. America keeps becoming more and more multicultural. You see it reflected on this chart. The multicultural population is represented by 43% of the total US population, up 34% in 2010 to 2020. Each new generation is exponentially more diverse. Look at what's happening with the different cohorts, from baby boomers to Gen Z in 2020, almost 48%. Latinos are the future face of America, 1 in 4 of all Gen Z. On average, US Latinos are a lot younger, so they have more runway. Again, I'm not going to bore you with all the specifics, but it's impressive when you think of the future. They have been on a constant journey of growth and upward mobility in terms of population growth, education, income, and home ownership. I love this quote from John Leguizamo, who has become a good friend. We Latinos in this country are so American it hurts, yet high school history books make Latino students feel invisible. And it's very symptomatic in terms of the presence in Hollywood in particular. Latinos are challenging stereotypes, and we're no longer just housekeepers and landscapers, which is a little bit of the cliches that Hollywood created. They're also challenging gender and sexuality norms. Latinx adults are really taking a stand and making their presence felt. The growth has given them an avenue to the finer things in life. So the old perception of advertisers that Hispanics are all low income, it's wrong. Look at some of the categories: leisure, travel, electronics, apparel, fragrance. They're over indexing in expenditure in a lot of these categories. And Hispanic women in particular are the ones that are turbocharging the growth. 83% of Latinas are head of household, now reaching almost 50% of household heads. They're really also opening businesses and driving the economy, not only for Latinos, for the country overall. Hispanics today embrace complexity as an aspirational destination, with the majority aspiring to be bicultural, with an identity that's 100% American and also 100% Hispanic. It's no longer about making choices. Latinos are reclaiming a lost legacy. Many older Mexican Americans suppressed their heritage because they thought assimilation was the way to get ahead. Today, their adult children often have the confidence to seek out their roots. And this is information from the Financial Times. And at the same time, Latinos are breaking away from the expectations of others and redefining their own path. I love this quote: "I don't necessarily need to be the epitome of anything. Just because I'm a Mexican American doesn't mean I need to be like everyone else under that umbrella." As a result, Hispanic culture and influence are shaping the mainstream. And you just have to look around. Hispanic artists are earning the spotlight in top music festivals. Just the other day, Karol G was at the overall Grammys, not the Latin Grammys. Bad Bunny has become an incredible phenomenon. He's currently the most popular musical artist in the world. Hispanic communities are shaping urban street culture. They're also shaping culinary palettes, influencing and making food in America bolder and spicier. They're influencing how and what we watch, and you see it now across different screens and different platforms. They're using video games as a platform to get together and enjoy pioneering cultural experiences. Hispanics are the youthful foundation of an increasingly multicultural general market, if you can call general market anymore. Yet, a lot of advertisers are still engaging them in very traditional and almost stereotypical ways. Only speaking Spanish, when, of course, we can navigate both worlds. You still see a lot of machismo culture traits. They're portrayed as low socioeconomic lifestyles, and a lot of telenovelas and football. When things have changed and have evolved, there's an exciting opportunity to engage the Hispanic market and benefit from its current cultural momentum by stepping away from the traditional. And that's what we're trying to do ourselves. In fact, I'm working closely with the Association of Hispanic Agencies, the Hispanic Marketing Council, to start a movement called Stop Latino Coding, very much in line with greenwashing or whitewashing. We're going to send a message to CMOs in particular that it takes more than just scratching the surface. Adding percussion to the soundtrack, and my friend from Pandora can relate to that. This is not just an executional decision. It has to be strategic. It has to be deep. You have to scrape everything in order to paint the right way and make it relevant, make it relatable, and create empathy. So we need to convey this message to the marketing community. They need to stop Latino coding. And let me close with a line that is kind of a war cry and a way of looking at our industry. Excellence has no ethnicity. Thank you. Gracias. Mulțumesc. Danke.